I am going to share what I spent in a week. I have been really taking my personal finances seriously within the last year, and I feel like I'm finally at a place where I'm in a good rhythm. I'm being very mindful and intentional with, I would say, I would like to think majority of my purchases. A lot is happening in the world right now. World War III, fuel prices, cost of living, AI, oh my god. Anyways, so much is going on, and I just want to do as much as I can financially to make sure that we're protected, extra money, buffer money, and to be able to do that, you need to spend mindfully, you need to be able to save. And I'm going to be talking about what I spent in a week, specifically last week, which was March 23rd to March 29th, 2026. This is definitely something I've never spoken about before, so it's quite vulnerable, quite exposing. So if you like it, please let me know. For a little bit of context, I live at home with a mortgage. I live with my fiance, so we do split a lot of our costs equitably. Just for the sake of these videos, I think I'll just cut our costs like 50-50 just to make it easier for myself to calculate. And I work full-time in corporate. I think that's all you really need to know. First day of the week, Monday. Mondays are usually like a low to no spend day for me, but this week was different. We spent $217 on Monday for roof paint at Bunnings. The perks of being a homeowner is that you need to maintain your home, make it look nice. Luckily, my partner's dad actually did it for us, and it actually turned out so good. I don't regret this purchase. Then I bought soy sauce because I was about to run out and I need soy sauce to live. So my half of that was $5.58. Me and my partner are going to Vietnam very soon, in like 2 weeks, and needed to get travel insurance. So I did a look around, I used a comparison website and got like the cheapest travel insurance. I did check reviews to make sure that it was still a good, insurance company. So my half of that was $46.09. Then I had some expenses of my own that were not shared. So I bought some pork from Coles, and that was $15.55. So my parents had given me a big winter melon that they grew in their garden, and I love having winter melon soup with pork. So I had to buy pork, otherwise I wouldn't have anything to go with my winter melon. And I definitely didn't want to let my winter melon go bad because my parents put so much love into growing it. I assumed that my partner wouldn't eat much of it, so I covered that on my own. And then lastly, my monthly phone bill came out on Monday, and that was $25, and I am with Felix, and I highly recommend them. While I did spend a lot more money on a Monday than I usually do, I did feel like I was quite intentional with my purchases, and some of them helped me save money actually. So with the roof paint, we actually had a bit of an issue with our roof leaking, and we got quoted for roof repair or roof redo, whatever it's called, and I think they quoted us $28,000. That's insane. So we didn't go ahead with it. And then my partner's dad actually ended up helping us out, and he just went up there and he fixed it all up, and he did such a good job. And now that spot in our roof is not leaking anymore. So we just saved $20,000. And I would say we also saved money on lunch and dinner because we ate our own meal prep. Tuesday was my lowest spend day of the week. It would have been $0, but the Hannah Montana special, 20th year special came out on this day, and I really wanted to watch it, and I didn't have a Disney Plus subscription yet. And I grew up watching Hannah Montana. So did my partner, so did my sisters. It's just something that I feel like I just really wanted to get. I didn't regret it. I signed up for the subscription, and I literally cancelled it immediately after I subscribed to it. You still get the month of what you paid for, but then I didn't have to think about being charged for it when it rolls over. Just cancel it immediately and then you're good. That was $15.99, and I paid for that myself. Wednesday was my first working office day, and when I work in office I do tend to have a few habits and rituals that involve spending money. unfortunately. I do need to get better at this, but I did stop by 7-Eleven and get an onigiri for a little morning snack. Because in the mornings, like I'm so like getting ready, leaving last minute. I don't usually have time to eat breakfast at home. And then I got a coffee that was $6.11. And my public transport for the day was $11.70. I considered myself saving money on Wednesday because I brought my meal prep from home. I took the train rather than driving in. I only had one coffee that I paid for. The second coffee that I had, I did use the free machines that is at work. I also tend to go to the same coffee place because one, I really like their coffee. Two, I have like their loyalty card, so I get like a free coffee every X amount of times. That was not the case for Wednesday, but it's nice to know that I'm building towards something free. Thursday is the day that I kept hearing on the news about the rising cost of groceries and everything. And not that I'm one to panic buy because I think that's, gonna cause the problems, but it did make me think that I should buy some bits and bobs that I will need in the future. So I went to a bargain store nearby our house and I bought just a few household items. I'm trying to remember what I got. I bought popcorners, I bought 1.3 liters of dishwashing liquid, 75 pack of dishwashing pods, 100 pack of gloves, like kitchen gloves, some lint Easter stuff. That all came to $40.95. I find that so cheap, like considering like if you just buy like dishwashing liquid or dishwashing pods, and that's like usually $30. So in total, my share of it was $20.48, and I don't regret any of the purchases I made because I know that I'm going to use it all, and it was like way cheaper than if I would have bought it from Coles or Woolies. So I would consider this as like a moment where I actually spent in order to save, which is not always the case, but in this case I think that was the case. Thursdays are also the day that my mortgage repayments come out. I do weekly repayments. That's just how I had it set up previously when I didn't have an offset account and I wanted to save on interest. So I had it set at weekly, and now I'm just kind of like used to it being weekly. So my share of that was $359.84. Friday was another in-office day. So again, I spent $4 on an onigiri, $6.11 on a coffee. As you can see, this is definitely a habit of mine at the moment, and I definitely know that I could axe the onigiri and I could probably get a small instead of a medium coffee, so I might do that moving forward. Again, I always take the train, so my public transport was $11.70. Whatever how much public transport you use, if you use it for the whole day, it's kind of capped at $11.70. So just keeping that in mind, me and my fiance had a comedy show. The Melbourne Comedy Festival is on at the moment, and we had a show at 9 p.m. and we were like thinking, stay in the city and go out to eat and walk around and shop around, or should we just go home, eat at home, chill out a little bit, and then we can head back into the city when the show starts? And we ended up doing that second option, and I don't regret it at all because we saved money on eating at home and we already spent the daily fare of $11.70. So any more train trips we took would have just like decreased our cost per use. It also helped, like we'd go home, drop off our work bags, change into comfy clothes. Like it was just the most elite choice we could have made. We did, however, forget to bring water. So we did have to spend $4.20 on water from 7-Eleven. However, if we had waited and gotten a water bottle in the venue for the comedy show, the water bottle there was $7. That's crazy. And then after the comedy show, we actually had hot star chicken and it was so good. And for me, it was free because my partner paid for it. On Saturday, we had a catch up with a friend and it was a very gloomy, rainy day. So it was perfect weather for laksa. And my portion of that meal was $21. On the weekends is when we tend to do our weekly grocery shop. I do try to shop small businesses first, and then Aldi, and then Woolies. Woolies is always the most expensive place you could grocery shop at. This week I was very mindful about spending less on groceries because previous weeks we just had like a massive Costco haul, so we didn't need as much. So for this week the grocery spend was $17.33 at Aldi and $25.80 at Woolies. So my share of that was $21.57. On Sunday, I spent a majority of my day thrift shopping with my sisters. We're going to Vietnam soon, so we thought let's go thrift shopping for some clothes for our vacation. So I ended up only picking up 2 items, none of which are going to work well for the Vietnam trip because they are like jackets. Actually, I'll show you guys what I got. Be right back. So first thing I got was this long like trench, sporty style trench jacket. And this is from RJ, or I don't know how to pronounce it. But it's a very long jacket. And I just like how it's like not too thick of like a jacket material. So it'll keep me warm, but it won't keep me like too warm because I do run hot and I just hate feeling like too warm. So this will keep me warm, but like just enough warm, if you know what I mean. And the next thing I got was this really cute like knitted jacket cardigan thing. This is from Seed and this color is so nice. So in total I spent $109.95 on both of those items, and I'm pretty happy with that because they're like good quality items. Clothes and like beauty products are things that I tend to have a bit more buyer's regret about. What's it called? Like buyer's remorse. So I've been trying to be very intentional when I go shopping, like making sure that I'm buying the clothes because I actually really like it. I am very happy with the 2 purchases I made because I don't actually have a lot of jackets. So adding everything up for the week, I spent $826.12. I think that that's really good. It could be better, it could be worse. And I was actually curious about what that number would be if I removed the mortgage repayment, because like the mortgage repayment is something that I have to do. If I removed that, my spending would have been $466.28. And remember, like $100 of that was on the roof paint, which I'm not gonna have to do. Like that's just like so random of a purchase that I had to make this week. So really I only spent like, you know, around $366. I'm pretty stoked with that. I'm pretty proud of myself. It was a good week. Where I would like to improve is definitely like trying to break those habits at work where I always get like a little snack or I always get like a coffee. I don't really want it to be like part of my routine. I want it to be more like a little treat that I'm giving myself every so often. Anyways, that was what I spent in a week. I hope you found this helpful. And if there's anything that I could improve on my spending, let me know. Like, let me know in the comments. Anyways, that is the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll see you soon.